I'm recording a video. You know that, huh? Mommy Anna. Hi my beautiful YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you are new, welcome to the team. I hope you will stay a while and subscribe and join the crew. I don't know if by the time you see this video, if it's been a while since you've seen this face, because I do as of now have videos that can be uploaded. They just need to be finishing touches on the editing and uploaded. But it has been a while since I have made a video. If you are new, I'm Danny. I make videos of makeup, sometimes do mukbangs, haven't done one of those in a while. And then I've been tracking my pregnancy journey. To let you know how long it's been, as you can probably kind of tell, I am no longer pregnant. I have had my beautiful bundle of joy. So today I want to come and share my labor and delivery video, as well as do a face and name reveal for my baby. I don't know if you can hear him. He is over here like talking. It's been that long. He is now 5 weeks old. So it's been a while since I had him. So it's kind of well overdue. But I did want to share because I've been tracking my pregnancy journey. If you are old and aren't new, you've been along with me for the ride for my pregnancy journey. So of course I had to come and share my labor delivery story. It's only right. So there goes my little intro. Let's get into the story. Where do I start the story? So I was in my third trimester. I was getting closer to my due date. My due date was September 4th, B-Day, Beyonce's birthday. I always gotta throw that in there. But I was doing September 4th and getting close to my due date. I wasn't really dilating. So when you turn 36 weeks, they start doing weekly doctor's appointments. At least for me, that's when my weekly appointment started. And that's when they start checking my cervix to see if I was dilated, to see if labor was getting ready to start. So every appointment I went to, I wasn't dilating. She even stripped my membranes, but just her sticking her finger in to check, and then she sweeps, tries to clear out the membranes and mucus or whatever, I don't really know, to try to get your cervix to dilate more. And even doing that, it just wasn't happening. So I was kind of scared. I was trying everything. As y'all know, I was bouncing on my ball. I was walking almost every day. I would start eating dates. Somebody said dates can help dilate your cervix. I was trying all kind of things to get this going. So I wanted my body to naturally go into labor. I wanted to do the full experience. I want my waters to break. I wanted to naturally go into labor. And I really wanted to try to do my labor semi-unmedicated. I just didn't want epidural. So I know with inductions, they give you certain medicines like Pitocin that can really amp up the pain of contraction. So I really wanted to try to avoid being induced. I wanted to naturally go into labor. We scheduled my last appointment, which was the day before my due date. And I actually made a post on Facebook when do you guys think I'm going to labor? Because a lot of people thought I was going to go to labor early, and some people thought I was going to go to labor late. But I remember one of my friends, Natalia, she commented, and I think she said, I think she predicted the 3rd, which was the day of my appointment. And I said, that's my last appointment, and I just have a feeling, wouldn't it be crazy if I go in and they decide to keep me, and then I go in and have my baby? Just a joke, but I was like, what if that happens? Spoiler alert, that's what happened, but I'm about to get into that. So anyway, my last appointment was on September 3rd. And it was weird because it was scheduled to be downtown. I usually go to the doctor's office in my area of town, but this time she was going to be her downtown office, which is right by the hospital. So I thought it was kind of weird too. So that was kind of another sign what if I'm about to have my baby, because I'll already be downtown. So go downtown. I woke up just discouraged. I'm like, what if I go into this appointment and I'm still not dilated? And that probably would mean I'm going to have to schedule an induction. My doctor already let me know that she wouldn't let me go a week over. So if I wasn't going to go to labor naturally by my due date, she would give me an extra week to actually go into labor. But that would be it. So I was already kind of in the mood. Even getting ready to go to the appointment, I thought about packing my bag. Because I had my hospital bag. Hopefully by now the video will be up. So I will link the video in here of what was in my hospital bag. And I thought to pack it into the car, but I was like, no, ain't no way. I haven't gone to labor yet. Anyway, I'm not gonna need it. I'm gonna have time. You asleep. Why are you up now? Not recording video. It's why I haven't recorded video yet. So anyway, so going to the appointment. Just the normal regular appointment. The doctor goes to the room for the doctor to check my cervix. He even was me in the video. I'm gonna have to pause to boy. So anyway, it's a regular appointment. You know, go to my blood work, everything, urine. It's normal, whatever. And then go into the exam room. Doctor checks my cervix, and she's like, oh, I don't even want to tell you. And I'm like, you don't want to tell me what? She was like, I was like, how dilated am I? And she was like, just one. So you know, you might not know, but you have to get the 10 centimeters to be able to push the baby out. So typically I think when they keep you probably close like being like 5 or 6 centimeters dilated when they like, once you go into labor, they keep you in the hospital. So she's like, you're just one. So I was like, I'm really trying my hardest to be dilated, and it's not working. Nothing's doing it. So she like helps me up, and I just burst into tears. And she's like, oh my God, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm just so emotional today because I've been trying my hardest to go into labor, and it's not working. I'm not dilated, and she's like hugging me, rubbing me. She's like, it's okay, it's nothing you're doing. This boy is stubborn, which he really is. It's like it happens like a lot of times. First time moms don't even go into labor on their due date or early. They go over. So she was like, it's okay, we'll give you a week. If you have a certain date, we could take that date, and you can come in that day, we'll induce you, and you have the baby on that day. Like, it's okay. It's not a problem. We're going to get him out. So I was emotional because I want to get him out actually on my own. But she was like, okay, we're going to schedule ultrasound today, which she already let me know she was going to do. She said, when it comes to the appointment, if I got to my due date and baby wasn't here, then they were going to do an ultrasound, make sure everything was okay. So she was like, well, since you're here, instead of have you come tomorrow, because my due date was the next day, we'll just go ahead and schedule ultrasound and just a check. So I'm like, okay. She's like, I think everything's going to be fine. It's just, you know, precaution. Just make sure everything's fine in there. And he's okay. It's okay. So, going there to get my ultrasound. Tech's really nice. She really just checking the fluid. The main thing is if the fluid was low, they're going to go ahead and induce me and take me in because you can't have low fluid because that's what's keeping your baby protected. So I go in, meet the ultrasound tech. We're just talking about it and just, you know, everything's whatever. I'm just like ready to go home. I'm hungry, haven't eaten. I had to schedule in for work. I already had to call and let them know I was going to be a little later than I was originally because they had them ultrasound. So I'm just like ready just to go, to leave, get something to eat, go home, go to work, and just think about what day I want to be induced because I was just like feeling defeated. So then we're just going through the motion at the end. She's like, okay, so we're going to go ahead and send you over to the hospital and admit you. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, what? So yeah, your fluid's kind of low, so it's probably best if we go ahead and admit you and then start your induction. So I'm like, what's my fluid here? I think she said, I can't remember. I should have recorded this like close to time. I think she said my fluid was like at a 4 and they want to be like a 10 or over. So my fluid was actually really, really low. So like, okay, yeah, that's pretty low. So we probably should go ahead and do that. So she's like, okay. So yeah, we're going to call the nurse over here. She's going to wheel you over. She's like, do you need to call anybody? And I'm like, my mom had sent me to an appointment. So she was like in the garage because she couldn't come in because of COVID. So I had to like call her, let her know what was going on. So she ended up coming up and going over there with me when they like wheeled me over. But I'm like freaking out because I'm like not prepared. Because remember I said I thought about packing my bag. My bag was completely packed. So I'm like, because there were some things that I wanted to pack, like with my water to break, and like while I'm waiting for like labor to keep going, progressing, I was gonna start packing the extra stuff, like stuff that I couldn't pack just to keep packed, like my tablet, phone charger, things like that. So I'm like freaking out to my mom, like they're about to induce me, I'm about to have a baby like tonight. I'm not prepared. You have to go get my bag. I have to call my son's dad. He's not prepared for this. He didn't know I was gonna be getting induced. Nobody knew I was getting induced. Like it was a whole shock. So they wheel me over and get me checked in to triage. I'm like wrote down everything. My mom's like, here's what you need to pack. Here's where it is. Pack the bag, bring it back. I'm trying to call my baby's dad. He's not answering. I don't know where he was doing. He was like running around doing God knows what. But he wasn't answering, so I'm like, he's about to miss it. Like, I'm here by myself. I called my doula. She's like, okay, I'll be there. I gotta go home, get my kids situated, then I'll be there. It's kind of happening all kind of fast but slow at the same time. I had to call my job and tell them, okay, so I'm not coming in. Actually, this is when I'm gonna start my leave of absence because I'm going to labor right now. So there's that. Get me checked in, get me into a room, and that's when everything really kind of starts. You know, I meet the nurse, and she's really just like telling my options of what the plan is. My doctor had the plan. So what her plan was to start off the induction with the Foley catheter balloon and small dose of Pitocin. So what the balloon is like a little balloon, like a catheter, but it's like a little balloon at the end of it. So they stick it in your vagina, your cervix, and they fill the balloon up, and that's supposed to help like your cervix like open up. I think it gets like 6 centimeters. Well, no, it gets to when it could fall out on its own. Like when it gets to the point that the catheter could fall out on its own, that's when you're good. Usually keep it for like I think 12 hours. So yeah, they kind of warned me that it could be kind of painful. So it was like, do you want any medicine? So I'm like, yeah, cause I wasn't opposed to medicine. I was opposed to the epidural specifically. So like, what can y'all give me? Should we give you Stadol? I was scared of Stadol because a couple of my friends had told me that was like some strong shit and had them feel like the highest they ever felt like they was tweaking. So I was kind of scared of it, but they were kind of like, so what do you want to do? We have to get this in, so do you want them to stay all night? So I'm like, I don't want to start feeling pain already. It's just the beginning, so yeah, give it to me. So she gives it to me. They put the catheter in, and they start me on low dose of Pitocin. Stadol is great. My friends that said they were tweaking. I don't know if I have like a high tolerance for drugs. I wasn't tweaking, but I felt great. I was kind of like giddy, laughy. Booty. In the midst of all of that, my doula finally comes. She's like, are you okay? How are you feeling? Are you okay with everything going on so far? I'm like, yeah, we're good. Boop, boop. Son's dad finally calls back, and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, they admitted me. I'm about to have a baby. Like, you need to get here. You can miss the birth of your son. Just so you know. So he's like, oh my God, I gotta go home. Gotta get a shower. I gotta get myself together, and I'll be there. Okay, whatever. For the most part, contractions were starting, but they weren't really painful. It was just like dull cramps. So really just chilling for the most part for the first half, you know, just kind of get used to everything, getting my stuff. They wouldn't let me eat. I was kind of mad about that because I didn't freaking eat beforehand, and I knew I should eat that morning, but I thought I was gonna just go home. So my plan was when I left the doctor's appointment to go get some food and then go to work. So it was kind of like, but they was like, no, we can't have you eat because in the case that you might have to get a C-section, we don't want food in your system. It was kind of just like, I couldn't move. I couldn't get up while the catheter was in, I don't think. Yeah, so I was kind of just laying around, talking to my doula. Baby that eventually came. So just talking to them, to how everything's going. Mommy Anna. You can't show your face yet. We gotta do a face reveal. I guess I can try to record the video while he's laying here. Can't see his face yet. I'm gonna do like a face reveal. What is this? My baby. Mom lives anyway. Where was that? So yeah, it was kind of just laying around. It wasn't that too crazy going on. So eventually, probably like 6 hours later, the doctor comes in. She's like, let's just check just to see if, you know, it'll come out. So she like, you know, pulls at the Foley balloon and it comes out, just like pops right out. And my doula even mentions that I've never seen it just like pop out so easy like that. So the doctor was like, oh, well, there it goes. So we're good. And it looked disgusting. It had like mucus and stuff on it. So I guess that's my mucus plug. So she's like, okay, let's check you. So then she checked my cervix. She was like, oh, guess what? I was like, what? So you're 6 centimeters. And my doula was like, what? Everybody started like cheering. They was like, oh my God, you progressed so quickly. Like, this is good. You're going to have your baby tonight. My doula was like, I give it 2 a.m. tonight. You're going to have your baby. Yeah. You remember all this happening? You remember this story? So I'm like, wow, yay, let's get this party started. I'm feeling good. I'm like, I'm progressing quickly. The contractions weren't really hurting, baby. So I'm like, I can do this. Like, we're good. So he kind of stink. So I think I need to change him. I hope we'll be back. Which he pooped. Okay, let's try to finish this up before he gets fussy again. Okay, so where I leave off at? I'm feeling good. I'm like, okay, good. I might be able to do this. Like, contractions don't hurt too bad. Whatever. But every time my nurse was coming in, I don't see how the mommy YouTubers do it. Jesus, okay. So every time the nurses were coming in, I found they were cranking the Pitocin up a little more. So of course the contractions started getting a little more painful. I can't record my video. It's about you. I don't remember I'll be leaving off at. So for most of my labor, it was kind of really just going through the motions. It was too exciting. We were just really just talking to my doula and my son's dad. I was kind of confined to the bed. I had a birth plan, and I'm just gonna say, when you make a birth plan, be very, very flexible, because my birth plan basically didn't go anything like I wanted it to. So I really wanted to like move around more, but I was really kind of confined to the bed. I don't really know why they weren't going to move around, but as like contractions got worse, I really wanted to move because they're starting to get kind of unbearable. But anyway, so you know, we're going through the motions, hours are passing by, and for the longest I stayed at 6 centimeters. So they would come to check randomly to see how I progressed, and I was staying at 6 for a long time. So fast forward to like the 12-hour mark. When it got to that point of me being in labor, mind you, I checked in like 3, 4-ish in the afternoon, so it's like 3 or 4 in the morning. I've been up since, my appointment was probably like around 12, so I've been up since like 10 this morning. I've been up for almost 24 hours at this point. So I was getting tired, and contractions were getting so much more intense. We tried different options. So they couldn't get me to stay down anymore because it's a narcotic, and it can make me drowsy. If you know I do progress to the point when we push, and they can make the baby drowsy. So they only want to give that in the beginning. So I got tested for COVID-19. So I did get my COVID-19 test. He's not letting me be great. Oh my! I don't know how much longer I have because he's not letting me be great. He's calm for like a few minutes and then starts fussing. But anyway, so I got checked. When I first got there, I got tested for COVID. Forgot that part. So the test isn't really that bad. I was kind of scared because I was like, they're going to poke me in my brain. But she just kind of went up to a point of resistance in each nose, and it wasn't bad. But I was negative. So because I was negative, they allowed me to have nitrous oxide. A lot of hospitals have banned it because of COVID, because the air particles like gets exchanged. So because I was negative, they let me have it. So we tried it out. It would help a little bit, but then I started feeling kind of like lightheaded as I was taking it in. So I was kind of like, this isn't working. It's maybe sick, maybe nauseous, maybe lightheaded, and contractions still freaking hurt. Bless you, baby. Contractions still freaking hurt, and they were just getting so like unbearable. At this point, the Pitocin part was up into like the teens. I can't remember the last time I asked, like a few hours before that, I was like, what's the Pitocin on? It was like at 12. So, and that's when it was starting to get a little painful, but I was still able to like breathe through it. So I was trying everything. I was trying to breathe through it. My son's dad was like massaging me. My doula was talking me through it. I started playing like birth affirmations on my speaker and my phone. My mom forgot to pack my essential oil, so I couldn't do that. I couldn't move around. They wouldn't let me move around, so that was a big part of my birth plan, was to be able to move around, walk around, get on like the exercise ball, to like not just be confined to the bed, because I think when I was confined to the bed, it just made it just so much worse, because I couldn't do anything but just lay there and just take it. So 12 hours in, I was exhausted. I was trying to like, let me try to get some sleep so that maybe I would just ignore the contractions. No, it wasn't happening. They were getting so freaking bad, and I knew I was gonna get back to sleep. So before, a couple of times before, I was like, I can't do this. I need epidural. And my doula, my son's dad were kind of like, are you sure it's what you want? It's not what you want. You told us you didn't want the epidural. That's the one thing that you didn't want. You can go medicated with like IV pain meds, nitrous oxide, but as far as epidural, you didn't want that. And they were like encouraging, like, you can do it. You're fine. Keep reading through it. You got it. So like I said, he was like rubbing my back. He was like trying to make me feel better. He was talking me through it. Every time I asked for epidural, he was like, no, you can do it. You can do without it. So that was helpful, because I had me like doubt that I needed it, because I would ask for it and he would like encourage me, and then it was to the point I was like about to call the nurse. I was like, okay, no, because I would ask for it as I'm going through contractions. So by the time I'm ready to call the nurse, the contraction's over, and I'm like, good. Like when the contraction's not happening, I'm perfect. When it's happening, I'm like in so much freaking pain. But anyway, 12 hours in, nitrous oxide wasn't working anymore. I couldn't get any other kind of pain meds. I couldn't walk around. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't change position. I was over it. I said I need the epidural. They did have the peanut ball to like try to dilate me more. Nothing was working. So no, I got to the point that called this nurse, have her check me. She came in and checked me. When she checked me, she was like, "You're still at 6." Mind you, I had been at 6 for like 6 hours now. I had been at 6 probably like 12. The whole time I was at 6. Like, once they took out the little ball, the little balloon, I was at 6. And I had been at 6. No, I probably was at 6 for like almost 10 hours. I was at 6 for a long freaking time. So it was that point I was like, okay, no, I need the epidural. I'm not progressing. If she would have checked me and I was at like 8, I probably could have went without it, because that means I was progressing. I was getting closer and closer to actually being over it and pushing. Me being at 6 for so long, I was like, my body's not progressing. The contractions are getting worse. My body's not dilating. So I'm like, I can't keep. I'm nowhere near about to push. I need the epidural. Sarah was like, "Are you sure? Are you positive?" I said, "Yes." Call them now, because I know in some cases the anesthesiologist can get backed up and it can take a while. So I get, call them now. I'm not going to keep going back and forth with it. Call them. Have them be on their way. And so anesthesiologist came like that. So I was kind of lucky. And it was a lot. I was like having the shakes. I was like shivering. I couldn't get it out. I was like so scared and nervous. I really did not want epidural. Like that was one thing my first plan. I was like, I do not want epidural. I want to try my hardest to go natural. But I gave in. After they gave me epidural, my doula was like, don't beat yourself up. You did really good. 12 hours of labor for an induction natural is really good. I don't know many people that could have did that. And my friend who's a labor delivery nurse, she also, when I told her I got the epidural, she was like, that's okay, don't feel bad about it. She's like, I was surprised you went as long, because with inductions it's hard to go natural with an induction, because the drug, the Pitocin, amps up the contraction. So much more painful than natural. I think if I would have naturally went to labor, I probably could have did it better. So in the future, if I do naturally go into labor, I think I would try to go natural again. But with being inducted, and that's why I didn't want to get induced, because I just knew that pain was going to be a whole different level. Because I've heard the same story. People want to go natural but get induced, and because the Pitocin is so much more intense, they end up giving in. So kind of sad. But once I got it, honey, I got some sleep. It kicked in so fast. I got some sleep, and it was like magical. Like the next day I woke up, it was the next day. It was like I got like a good 6 to 8 hours of sleep. So woke up. My doula had to go because she had a regular job. She had to go to work. She was like, wait, I work nearby. I work 5 minutes away. Once they ready to push, you call me and let me know I'm about to push, and I'll be back. So okay. Fast forward, I didn't get to like 8 centimeters till probably 18 hours in maybe of labor. So like 6 hours. So like when I woke up like around 10ish, they checked me again, and I think I was probably 18 minutes at that point. So I'm like, okay, finally we're freaking progressing. Hopefully soon we'll get to 10. I get to push. Confined to the bed, can't eat. And I had a snack bag, because everybody said pack a snack bag. You might have to sneak some snacks, so they're not gonna let you eat. My freaking baby daddy was such a hole. He would not give me my snacks. I was so mad. I understand his concern. I'm like, it's snacks. Give me some applesauce at least. Like, pass me my snack. He's eating my snacks on my snack bag. I'm like, I packed this bag to sneak snacks and they won't let me eat. Like, you're really not gonna give me no snacks. And he would not give me any snacks, and I was so pissed. And hindsight, me not having to get a C-section and really me being starved, I think it added on to the everything, like being induced, not progressing, being freaking hungry, being confined to a bed. All of that just made this experience just so like stressful. Yeah, so eventually it gets to a point that I feel like my body's like naturally pushing. So with epidural, you don't feel the pain of the contraction, but you still feel the pressure. So it got to a point that I was feeling like a lot of pressure. So my main issue with him was he wasn't like, and that's why they wouldn't let me get up. because he wasn't low enough. So they needed him to get lower into my pelvis. I think it was like a little space in between like my cervix and his head. So if I would have got up, the umbilical cord could fall out. I don't know. Something like that. And there was like, if my umbilical cord somehow gets in between and comes out, emergency C-section, doctors riding with you to the OR. So that's why I couldn't get up. So I started feeling like a lot of pressure. Like he was really low, and it was like my body was like pushing on its own. Like I wasn't making the push. It was just I was feeling the like my body pushing out. Too stinky butt. So, and it was kind of it was really uncomfortable. I wouldn't call it like pain because it wasn't painful, but it was like a whole lot of like pressure. And it was to the point I kept telling my son's dad, call them. My body's pushing on its own. I think baby's coming. I had him like, can you look into my legs and tell me if you see a head? Because I feel like he's coming. And he was like, no, you're overacting. You're good. I'm like, no, call them. So she came. So she called the nurse. She came in and she checked. She was like, no, you're still at 8. I'm like, I'm still at 8. And this is probably like a few hours in of being at 8. And I was like, my body's like pushing on its own. Like, and it hurts. Like, I don't like this feeling. And she's like, well, yeah, we don't want you to push because you're not dilated enough. So, okay, whatever. So I deal with this for like another hour or so, and it's just like getting so unbearable. All this pressure. It was just getting worse and worse, and then it got to the point. So I'm texting my doula, and I'm like, my body feel like it's pushing, it's getting worse. Is this normal? Woo, woo, woo. So I'm just like going through it. I'm like, oh, I'm like screaming and hollering and just like going through the pain. And at one point I'm like, it's getting worse. It hurts so bad. And the nurse was walking in at the same time, and she's like, it's getting worse. I'm like, yes, it's getting so much worse. She's like, that's good, because it's probably really coming now. So let's go check you again. So she checks me, and she's like, okay, it's like a little lip left, but I think we can go ahead and push. That shocked the heck out, because I'm like, we can go ahead and push. Like, oh, I'm about to push out a baby, like for real. Like we're really here. I've been here for 24 hours at this point, but I'm like, oh, so we're really about to push out a baby. Like I'm about to have my kid. Like you're calling the doctor? Oh, add in my normal doctor had been there the night before, so she was one that was like checking in on me early that morning. When I woke up to another doctor coming in, a man, and he was like introducing himself because he was a doctor on call, so he was the one that was going to deliver my baby. My baby came that day. So there's that. So she's like, I'm calling the doctor. She calls and the whole team comes in, and she's like trying to show me how to push. She's like, okay, what have you do? Can you feel the contraction coming? I said, I think so. I think that's when my body's like naturally pushing against the contraction. She's like, okay, yes. When letting me feel that, grab down your legs. Like grab your legs, pull them back to you, take a deep breath, and just push like you're taking a poo. So I was doing that, and at the same time she's like still like in my vagina, like trying to get that like little piece of cervix that's still in the way, like to fully be 10 centimeters. So doctor nurse come in, and she's still trying to push. She was like, we're not ready. We're still trying to get everything. She's trying to get her fully dilated. So they leave. So I'm like, oh no, let's get this done. Let's get this over with. I'm over it. I'm ready to just push this baby out of me at this point. So she's like still helping me, and she's like instructing me, and I wasn't doing it right at first. She was like, bless you, booty. She was like, you're really just going through the motions right now. Like, you're just kind of just doing it, and you're not really doing it. Like, you're just trying to, like, you're really kind of, like, just pushing and holding your breath, but you're not, like, pushing down, like, how you should be, like, you're taking a poop. Like, do it like you're taking a poop. And my problem was, it was, like, I couldn't breathe. So I was, like, holding my breath. I was doing it. But then, I had to do, like, 3 back-to-back. So, like, push 10 seconds. Take a deep breath, okay, push again. So I didn't have enough time, I don't think, to really catch my breath. And it was like stuffing my nose up, and I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was gonna pass out. But she's like, okay, just get a couple good ones, we call the doctor again. So I got a couple of good ones, and she's like, okay, they can come back in. So the host team comes back in, there's nurse on the side getting his stuff ready. The doctors, they're trying to, get me ready, and there's nurses with him. And he's saying the same thing, like, you're going through the motions, but you're not really doing it. So, like, I need you to give me just some good ones. Like, just really just, like, bear down and don't stop. Because I was, like, trying to take longer breaks in between to catch my breath. Like, every time you do that, he goes back up. And you don't want that. You want him to keep coming down. You want to keep pushing him out. So okay, I'm gonna try my best. So I did a few good ones, and he's like, okay, that's the best one we've seen. You're doing great. Now we can see the head. And my son's dad, he's like, we can see the head. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. We can see the head. I said, you can see the head really. Cause I thought the doctor was like lying, just trying to get me to hurry up. And he's like, no, we can really see the head. So okay. So them saying they can see the head kind of motivated me to really like keep it going. Cause like, okay, a few good more pushes, and he'll be out. So do a few more, and it's so much pressure. I can feel I can still feel, I can't feel the pain because epidural, but I can feel his head like coming out. Oh, big head. So couple pushes, head comes out, and the doctor's like, stop pushing. And I'm like, okay. So even if you feel like you have to push, don't push. I'm like, why? I can't control it. My body's pushing on its own. And I don't remember, I think I heard somebody say that like the cord on his neck, which I've heard is common, but still really scary. Like I was to figure in my mind that his cord was wrapped around his neck, because he was a little gymnast. He moved around a lot, so I was always scared throughout my whole pregnancy that he was gonna move around so much that his cord was gonna be wrapped around his neck. But they say it's normal. So, but the problem was, as I was pushing him out, they call it a tight nuchal, whereas usually they just pull it off the top and just take it off. His was so tight, and every time I pushed, it was just getting tighter around his neck, to the point that they had to like clamp it and cut it. So that's why somebody stopped pushing to give him a chance to clamp it and cut it off. And then he like unwrapped it, and I have on video there's like 1, 2, 3, like, oh wow, it's like 4. And I found out later, nurse told me later on, she was like, we've never seen a quadruple nuke. We've never seen the cord wrapped around 4 times. We've seen it like once, twice, maybe 3 times, but 4 times we've never seen that shit. She's like, he wants to be remembered. We're never gonna forget him, because that's the first time any of us have ever seen that. So I'm like, wow, he's just a little showstopper. So once he gets the cord off, he's like, okay, push again. One more push, and he's completely out. So I do one more good push, and then I just feel like all the pressure's gone. Like I feel like he's completely out of me. And it's like, yay, you did it. And they like grab him and take him, which was no problem birth plan. And I think it was because of the cord being tight around his neck, because I wanted them to like put him right on my chest and like clean him off and like suction him everything while he's on my chest. That was the original plan. But I think because when he came out, he wasn't breathing at first because of it being around his neck. They just took him away. Yeah, they took you from me. So that was kind of scary. I was like, is he okay? That's the first thing I said was like, he okay? Because he wasn't crying. He was like, yeah, he's fine. He just trying to catch his breath. We're trying to get him to breathe. I'm like, oh, I hope he's okay. He's not breathing. But they were kind of calm about it. So I'm like, okay, I guess he's okay. But it was still scary. So then this time the doctor's like, oh, I'm missing stuff. So as I'm pushing, the doctor's like, he was out some scissors. He's like, explained to me, said, hey, so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna do a little cut. He's having trouble getting out. So we have a look up, we're gonna sew it up after. It's gonna be just a little bitty cut, and we're gonna, you know, whoop. Like, am I gonna be able to feel it? He's like, no, we have epidural, you'll be fine, you're not gonna feel it. So as he's explaining this, I tear him out. He's like, oh, well, never mind, it tore on its own. So I had to tear it. I didn't want to tear it at all. Like, ugh, that was another thing that I was trying to avoid having, was a tear, but whatever. So, so he's getting ready to like sew me up, but he's like, there's a lot of blood, you're bleeding a lot, so we're gonna get to stop bleeding, because if it keeps bleeding like this, we might have an emergency situation. And he's like, I can't really see to sew you up because it's so much blood. So he asked the nurse. Okay, so before that, of course, he blows the placenta, and the placenta goes down on his own. I felt like usually I thought I was gonna have to push it out, but it kind of like slid down on its own. Like, can I see it? And it like showed me, and they just kind of threw it away. So while he's trying to stop bleeding, the nurse is like taking her fist, and they're called fundal massage, I think, and she's like doing like this on my stomach, and I heard they hurt, but epidural doesn't stop that pain. And she's like doing this, so like she's literally like this on my stomach. And this is the nurse I ain't seen yet, I ain't seen before, and she was not very nice. And I was kind of like, ow, I'm in so much pain. And I like, you know, grabbing her fist, and I was like, you gotta let her go, because she has to do this. We gotta stop you from bleeding, or it's an emergency situation. We can't get this bleeding to stop. We have to get all this blood out and get it to stop bleeding at this level, so I can sew you up. So I kind of let her. In the midst of all this, my baby finally starts crying, so that makes me feel better. He's crying. His dad's over there with him. His dad's cutting the umbilical cord. Make sure everything's going good over there. I'm trying to stop bleeding. He's sewing me up. It was just a lie. I was kind of scared through it all. I'm like, what happens if I don't stop bleeding? And I don't want to bleed out. I don't want to lose so much blood. He was kind of scaring me because he was like, you can lose so much blood. We don't want you to lose so much blood. So you got to get this bleeding under control. So they get that under control. That's good. He sews me up. Finally, it was so many of those little massages though. That killed me out for real. So eventually they're like, okay, baby's ready. Are you ready for him? I'm like, yes. So they like help me to like take off my hospital gown, and they come and they place my little naked baby on my chest, and I'm trying to get a good look at him, and I'm like, oh my god, you're so cute. They're like, he's so beautiful. He's like, you do have a lot of hair. And even while they were cleaning him up, I kept hearing like, he has so much hair. Like, oh my god, Dad, he's so long. Like, Dad, how tall are you? And he's like, I'm 6'4". And they were like, oh my god, he's gonna be tall like you. He's so long. Yeah, you long. He was 22 inches. And they're like, oh my god, he has a big feet. Like, oh my god, he has big hands. He's gonna be huge. So I'm like looking at him like, oh my god, you're so freaking cute. You have a lot of hair. I thought you were gonna be bald. And my doctor told me when she was like check my cervix at some point that she could feel his head and she could feel he had a lot of hair. So I'm like, oh my god, you're so cute. And they're like, do you want to try breastfeeding? I'm like, yeah, but I don't know what to do. Can you like guide me, tell me what to do? He's like, okay, go ahead. I'm like, what do I do? It's my first kid. I don't know how to breastfeed. And they kind of like help me like get him on and start feeding him. And we have our like skin to skin time, and they're like telling me, okay, yeah, he was born at 4:10 p.m. He was 7 pounds 8 ounces, 22 inches long. Welcome to the world, little boy. And they're like, you know, they start cleaning this up, they start leaving, and they give us our alone time. So I'm like, for like an hour, I'm like laying with him, like just on my chest, just enjoying my cuddle, my boy. My mom and my sister were actually on FaceTime at the time. I FaceTimed them when it was time to push. So they were like on my phone on the side on FaceTime. I text my doula so I could start pushing, but everything happened so fast. I pushed. My nurse I pushed like 30 minutes. I think it was really more like 15 because I feel like it happened so fast. So maybe it was 30 minutes. So my doula missed it, unfortunately. I ended up texting her after like, well, he's here, and sent her a picture. She's like, what? How did it happen so fast? And I like explained to her like the situation, everything that happened. So yeah, I think that's pretty much my birth story. Like I said, we did skin to skin for like an hour, and they took us to like our regular room. And I let his dad do his skin to skin for like an hour as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Stayed in the hospital for 2 days after that. So he was actually born on his due date, 9/4, September 4th, 2020 is my baby's birthday, 4:10 p.m. Stayed for 2 days in the hospital. I learned how to breastfeed, learn how to take care, learn how to give him a bath, learn how to really like take care of him. That was like crazy. Wow, like I have my son. So I don't think I missed anything. I know my story was like all over the place. I wasn't really prepared. I kind of just woke up this morning like, let me go ahead and record this video. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I could try to like clear anything up. Or overall, it wasn't what I wanted it to be. It wasn't what I expected it to be. I kind of know things I would do differently. Point one, I'd probably go to a different hospital. I probably go to the hospital that I originally wanted to go to, because I kind of feel like the nurses were nice, everybody was cool, but I just feel like they weren't really open for what I wanted to do. So I don't know if the other hospital would do that. My friend who's a delivery nurse who was like giving me tips, she's worked at the other hospital that I wanted to go to. So I think if I have another kid, I'll probably try to go to that hospital. Even though I do like my doctor, she doesn't live at the hospital, so I have to go to a different doctor for my next kid. But I kind of want to try the hospital out to see like if there's a difference, if you know they're more free, will let me do what I want to do. Because I think if things went differently, like I'll be able to move around, have more freedom, and it had like a team that was more open to different things, I think I probably could have went a little better. But no, overall, I'm just blessed that he came out safely. I didn't have to get a C-section. My nurse said she made sure to keep that doctor away because he is a C-section crazy. She said he's so impatient that if she would have him around more often, he would definitely push for a C-section. She said she didn't want that at all, so she kept him away. So now that C-section, he came out vaginally. I didn't get to do it naturally like I wanted to, but that's okay. Before my camera goes dead, I do want to do a face reveal and a name reveal for my baby boy as we end this. Like I said, my labor delivery story. Hi, cutie. So this is my son. This is my baby boy. His name is Josan Lorenzo. We didn't have a name for him until he came out, like the next day. For his first full day of life, he didn't have a name. So we named him the next day. We had like a list of name ideas, all starting with J. And we decided like when he came out what we thought he looked like. So his dad was like, I think he's like a Josan. See, I already know Cameron went dead, but so as I was saying, when he came out, his dad was like, I think it looks like a Josan. I'm like, you think like a Josan? He's like, yeah, it's like a cat do too. He looks like a Josan. It was like Josan or Jair. His dad like Jamasio. I didn't like that name at all. But that was like his like top 3 names he went by. It was Jamasio, Josan, Jonah, Jair, Johan, Jameer, Jakai. Those like names I had listed, but it was really Jamasio, Josan, Jair, or Jonah were like the name options. So that was like, I think it's like a Josan. So I got to do 2, and I really like that name because it's unique. I don't know any other Josans. I got the idea definitely from R.E.N.G. Herbo. This name is Yosan. I always liked his name. So I was trying to think of names with J. I'm like, Josan kind of sounds cool, and it's really unique and different. I like it. Lorenzo's my dad's name, so I named him after my dad. So yeah, he's Josan Lorenzo. His name is perfect. Everybody thinks he's so cute and unique and different, and I love it. And it's my unique and different baby. So here he is. Say hi to the camera. Does he look like me? I think he looks just like his dad, honestly. But people say he has my eyes. Hi. He's so bad. He's such a fushy baby, but I love him. He's a mama's boy already. He wants to be held by me all the freaking time. Yeah. He's like, he's 5 weeks. He's already a month old. Time is flying so fast, but enjoying every moment. So yeah, that's our video. Say yeah. Say yeah. Say cheese. Say thumbnail. Say thumbnail. So that's my labor and delivery story. Like I said, it wasn't perfect. Wasn't what I expected it to be, but the end result was I got my baby boy. So I'm so happy and so blessed to have that. So if you have any questions or, you know, think you want to know anything more, let me know. I don't think I left anything out. If I did, I'll clarify in the description box or the comments or whatever. But that's my story. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully we'll come back with more videos with baby Josan. If you have any ideas what you want to see from us, let me know. Like nighttime routines, daytime routines, baby must-haves, things like that. Hi, booty. I still need to do a postpartum care video, especially since I had a tear. That's something I think will be very helpful for people. But yeah, that is it. I'm going to go ahead and end this video before he starts getting fussy again. So thank you all so much for watching. We appreciate you. Thanks for joining the team. Hope you guys stay a while and tell your friends. And until next time. Say until next time. Until next time, stay beautiful. Mwah.